What's up guys, Randall Everett at Ivyhill, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking all about the inside leg for cornering. And I want to go over a technique that'll not only help you in the corners, but I'm hoping it will help some of you guys save your knees. Before I get into the mistakes and the how-tos, first, what do you think the number one reason is you raise your inside leg for a corner? The number one reason is for weight distribution. If you were to go through a corner, lean the bike over and not lift your inside leg, the farther you lean over, the more your body would naturally start to twist. I'm starting to twist because I want weight on the outside of the bike. Otherwise, I'd tip over. But as you can see, I got to use my upper body to do that, and it's throwing me all out of whack. I can't counterbalance, I'm stuck, and I can't use my controls effectively. When I raise my inside leg, it allows me to distribute weight evenly by shifting weight to the outside through my hips. That's going to allow my upper body to stay nice and square at the bars so I can counterbalance moving side to side, and I can use my controls effectively, especially my throttle. So now you kind of understand why we lift our inside leg for the corner. Let's take a look at a couple mistakes I typically see before we get into the right way to do this. Okay, so the first mistake I see is what I'll call the static leg raise. And this could have happened whenever you started and someone told you to get your foot up for the corner. What I see is a rider will get their foot way up in the air before they even get to the corner. And the foot is up high all the way around the turn. You need to understand that the leg raise is not a static, fixed position. The leg comes up higher as you lean over lower so you can maintain balance. There's a couple reasons why doing it that way can mess you up. First, if you immediately get your foot way up in the air like this, you got too much weight to the outside. This is not how you want to start your lean. There's a lot of different things that can happen, but it can put you into a situation like this where you get stood up. If you lift your leg with your lean, it'll give you a much better result where you can work from the middle of the bike. The second reason this can be a problem is what I call the foot slap. When you use this position, your foot will be too high off the ground. So if you tip over, which you will, we all do, that foot's gonna come slamming down and get ripped out from behind you. When in reality, your foot really needs to be close to the ground, which might be a little conflicting with what you've heard, but we're gonna get into that soon. Okay, mistake number two is what I call the pencil leg. I know you guys love all my names for these mistakes. The pencil leg is when the rider will fully extend the leg and lock their knee. And typically they'll even move that leg away from the bike in order to try to counterbalance or turn. And this is even more apparent if the rider's sitting too far back on the seat. If you use the pencil leg, you're really not going to be able to move your weight around effectively like we talked about. And if you hit your foot on the ground when your knee's locked, you can jam your thigh so bad it can throw your butt back on the seat like this. Or depending on how you hit it on the ground, you can really tweak your knee to the side because your leg's really not in a position where it can fold up naturally. Okay, so first, let's begin with the starting leg position right before you go into a turn. And you need to make sure you're sitting in the pocket of the seat if you're trying to do this, otherwise it's not going to work out for you. So what we want to do is turn our leg into a hinge. Right before the corner, your knee should be up high against the top of the shroud. And the bottom part of the leg should be lifting with your lean. The deeper the lean, the more that knee is going to come up a little bit too though. This is really going to allow you to work from the middle of the bike and have a controlled lean. And it's going to let you change your lean angle on the fly depending on how technical that rut is. As the bike straightens up and exits, you need to make sure that foot comes back into the peg so you can get over the front of the bike and control that front end. Next, we can talk about why I call this a hinge and why it can really save your knees. If your foot dabs the ground, or in worst case it jams the ground hard, the pressure from the ground will push your knee upwards, causing your leg to hinge at the hip. If it's a light dab, your foot will just pedal straight back without tweaking the knee. This is a really great thing because you can still stay in forward motion without losing too much time, and you're really going to save those knees in the process. And the last thing, the byproduct of this leg position and movement is that your foot's going to be close to the ground, as it should be. The narrative has always been to get your leg as high as possible away from the ground and then not hit it on the ground. But What happens when you start tipping over, which is inevitable? You're going to hit it on the ground hard and it's going to drag behind you. If you start to tip and your foot's close to the ground, a foot dab can really help you correct imbalances. But if your leg's high in the air and you foot slap, you really have no chance. This is really why you'll see some of the pro riders leaving foot ruts. In some turns, a slight graze of your heel gives you a lot of stability in your lean. All right, so here are the key points. Sit in the pocket of the seat, make sure your knees up high against the top of the shroud. Your foot should be close to the ground and lifting with your lean. And then on the exit, make sure the foot comes right back to the peg so you can get forward. If your foot's up, it's a lot harder to do that. So I hope this helps you guys in the corners, and of course, I hope it helps you prevent any injuries in the future. Feel free to comment in the comment sections any questions, and I'll get back to those as soon as I can. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll be back with some more stuff soon.